Okay, welcome back to the 7 Life Force Hacks. I've been gone for a minute, as you can tell. Got a different look for Hack 6, 7, and then what do we do now after Hack 7? We're going to start today with Hack 6. I hope you've worked your way through the first 5 hacks, and now you're feeling like your life force is on the rise, and you can deal with not only the shitstorm in your head, but the mayhem of the misfits that's running on all around you 24/7. Yes? Nod your head if it's yes. Okay, good. So, what's Hack 6? Hack 6 is called the daily grind, and that means that we're going to cover really not so much about personalities, but the obligations that you have in life. And because we're animating a physical body and you basically lugging it around with you, with your consciousness, because you've got this body, most of what you end up doing is related to maintenance, to maintain the body in some form or another. So not only do you need to deal with food and sleep, but you also have to have a place to live, a domicile to park your body. You have to have some sort of transportation to move it around. And maybe you have family members or pets that also you have to help take care of them and their bodies. And you have to clothe it. You have to take it on vacation, you have to get it health care, you have to take it to the dentist, etc., etc. So these are maintenance tasks that eat up a lot of life. We can't really get around this. But some maintenance tasks we don't mind, and others we don't really like at all. We're going to talk a little bit about that and how to deal with the maintenance tasks that you don't like. And I would contend that having a job is a maintenance task because you're doing it to get the money to maintain your physical body in this system that we're in. The first thing to help streamline the daily grind is to try to assess how whatever's coming up required in the present is affecting our life force. Everything we do has to do with this real-time evaluation of how things are affecting our life force. So I'm going to adapt an idea that Eckhart Tolle publicized in one of his books. I think it was The Power of Now. And he said, if you're not enjoying something, or you're not enthusiastic about it, or you're not at least accepting it, then you're going to cause misery for yourself and others. I think he said you're going to cause suffering for yourself and others. So that's a little bit more complex than what we're going to do here today, because all I want you to think about when you are coming across a task that has to be done, for instance, brushing your teeth. Simple thing, you have to do that at least once a day, hopefully twice or more, is we're going to do the thumbs up, thumbs down test. So when you have something coming up that you need to do, and you're going to say, how do I feel about that? That's thumbs up. Okay, let's get on with it. I'm enthusiastic about brushing my teeth. Okay, good. If you say, no, I don't want to brush my teeth, it's a thumbs down activity, then you have to maybe do the 5-year thing. How do I feel about not brushing my teeth for the next 5 years? Well, my teeth are going to fall out. And you say, well, okay, I'll get it back up to neutral. So thumbs up, thumbs down, or neutral. You'd be surprised how many things you do reflexively that are kind of thumbs down, and you don't really need to do them. Let's say it could be as simple as mowing the lawn. You could say, I have to mow the lawn. I hate mowing the lawn. I have to mow it every week. Otherwise, the grass gets too long. Well, okay, if you're a happy person and you have to go be a little bit miserable about mowing your lawn, I don't have a problem with that. But if you're somebody that's fighting chronic depression, then I think you should say, no, I'm not going to mow the lawn today. I'm going to do something else that lifts up my life force. So once you start applying the thumb test, and it's not that complicated, but you have to remember to do it, you're going to start to get a sense of what things are enhancing your life force and which aren't. So when we get to the things that, okay, they're not enhancing your life force, but they kind of have to be done. So there's several alternatives to just grinning and bearing it. And I think the first one, or the easiest one, is can you dump it, not do it anymore? And I'm going to give you a funny example about that, but I don't like to cook. Some people love to cook, and they don't mind cleaning up. Maybe they even like washing the dishes afterwards, but they think it's a lot of fun and they look forward to it. Other people don't like to cook, but hey, you have to eat. So what do? I guess you could do Uber Eats, for the rest of your life. That gets kind of expensive, but you should think about ways to minimize the amount of time you spend doing something you don't like, such as cooking. So what I do, which people might laugh at, but it works great for me, is I take a big pot. I make a huge pot of like chicken vegetable soup. I put bone broth in it, and I put chicken in it, and I put a bunch of vegetables, fresh vegetables or frozen vegetables. I don't care. Put them all in there. I make a huge pot, and I cook it up, get out a cup, ladle a couple scoops in there, eat some dinner with some bread or crackers, and I'm happy. And when I'm finished, I wash that one bowl. I put the pot in the refrigerator, and the next night I get out the pot and do it again. So I spent about 3 minutes making dinner, which is about the time it takes to heat the soup in the microwave. Okay, you say, Mackie, that's terrible. You should be enjoying cooking some salmon. I don't like that. So there are a million things that you have to do all day, every day, that you can change the way you approach that task to make it thumbs up for you. Ladling that soup out of the pot is thumbs up for me. If it's thumbs down for you, then go ahead and cook the salmon. You with me? So the first thing is, can you kind of get rid of it? Okay, you get a thumbs down, can you just not do it anymore? If you have to keep doing it, the next question to ask yourself is, can I barter or outsource it somehow? Can I find somebody else to do it? So if you have a roommate who doesn't like to, let's say you don't like to clean the bathroom, but she doesn't like to cook the dinner and you do, you can say, look, if you'll clean, I'll make dinner most of the time. And you guys work out a deal where you get to do more maintenance tasks that are thumbs up for you and fewer that are thumbs down for you. So bartering and outsourcing is good. Sometimes you can hire other people, especially depending on the type of work it is. It could be somebody local. You could get neighborhood kids to mow the lawn for you, or to trim the rose bushes or whatever, wash your car. And they say, well, they're not going to do a very good job. And it's like, so what? Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm old. You might be young if you're watching this, but I'm old, and I see what's going on with old people. What happens with old people is they lose the ability to do a lot of things for themselves, and they have to start outsourcing everything. Sooner or later, they get to the point where they can't wipe their own butt, and they have to outsource that. So let's outsource whenever possible. You might as well get used to it, because you're going to be doing more and more of it as you get older. So bartering and outsourcing are a couple of pretty straightforward ways to reduce the maintenance tasks in your daily life and your daily grind. The third one's a little bit more involved if you can't find somebody to outsource it to. Like, I've got to drive to work for 45 minutes every day in heavy traffic. So yeah, it'd be great if you could afford to have a chauffeur like some of the high rollers on Wall Street, but short of that, what do? You say, well, as an example I used in my book, suppose your wife has a nice job 45 minutes in this direction, you got a new job 45 minutes in that direction, and the kids go to local school, so you can't move. You're kind of stuck with this 45-minute commute. What are you going to do? So the idea of reframing is, how can we adjust our perception of this situation in order to make it more tolerable, so it at least gets the thumbs neutral. And one example is, okay, I'm going to invest in a really nice sound system, and I'll get satellite radio if I have to, so I can listen to podcasts, or I can listen to music that's upbeat. I'll make some playlists, I'll listen to some good music, so I'll listen to audiobooks, whatever it happens to be, that you can reframe that time in the car. Or you can say, hey, I'm going to find a couple of people to ride share. It will cut down on the cost, and then I'll have somebody to visit with. Maybe I'll make some new friends. Another idea is, hey, I'm going to find a company that will let me put a sign advertising their business on my car, and I'll be getting paid to drive to work. So trying to reframe unpleasant situations or thumbs down tests to get them to neutral or thumbs up is the third way, the third technique that I like to recommend for dealing with your daily grind. You might be able to think of one or two situations right now where you have a maintenance task or some other obligation that's like not that pleasant. And I'm thinking, if you're depressed and anxious, you probably have quite a few of those, don't you? Something is really dragging you down. And if since we're already dealing with the shitstorm in the head and the people, the shit slingers who are driving you crazy, the last sort of area to fertile ground to plow is to find out what tasks in your daily grind are devouring your life force. So think about that and see if you can stop doing it, barter or outsource it, get somebody else to do it, or reframe it to something that's more tolerable. Okay? There's one last one. There's one last technique. It's called the nuclear option. That's the last part of the daily grind, is to unleash the nuclear option. That means we're going to blow everything up. And I want to talk about that in the next session. Okay? All right.